We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we the people tell the government what it is allowed to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, producers, or any affiliated organization. This podcast may include sensitive discussion related to topics such as child protection, abuse, and criminal behavior. The content is intended for informational, educational, and awareness purposes only, does not constitute legal, medical, or professional advice. Any reference to individuals, cases, or events are based on personal perspective, professional experience, or publicly available information and should not be interpreted as statements of fact regarding any specific person or situation. The host, speakers, and producers disclaim any liability for actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. Listeners are encouraged to seek qualified professional guidance for their specific circumstances. Listeners' discretion is advised. All individuals are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. All right, guys. How are you doing? Welcome to Candid Conversation. And tonight we have Matt Snow for Highway Superintendent for Blount County, right in Candidate. And before we get started, I just want to say sorry to everybody out there. We had technical difficulty. Also, there's rain in the area, so hopefully we don't lose any internet signal or power, anything like that. Hopefully we have everything charged, but just want to put that out there. And but hello, Robert and Mr. Matt. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. How about yourself? Looking forward to this.
Absolutely. All right. So, Matt, this is your first time on Candid Conversation. We give you an hour or whatever it turns out to be, mostly an hour, and we let you talk about all things Matt Snow and what got you here. We're excited. It's good that we have someone that's running against. I think it's Jeff Hedrick, who is currently filling the position for Highway Superintendent, and no one should ever go unopposed. Wouldn't you agree?
That is one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing it, and not just highway superintendent, but any incumbent, state, local, federal, should not be unopposed.
All right. With that being said, man, it's your show. Take off with it and let us know who we're going to get to know.
All righty. Well, all right. First of all, I want to thank Brian and Robert for having me on. This is a really cool deal, and I've been looking forward to it since, well, before I ever even knew about resolute exposure. So,
Cool.
anyways, so I am Matthew Snow. Keep that in the back of your brain. Matthew Snow from now on. 48 years of a habit is pretty hard to break. So Matthew Snow, I'm 48, and I'm a native of Blount County. So my family moved here whenever I was 6. So I don't even count my time in Knoxville as time in Knoxville. So I'm a graduate of Heritage High School. Graduated in '96. Um, so and then from there, I tinkered around town before I found out that I needed to get some discipline in me, some changes, and grow up. And so went into the Army, where I served with the storied Bravo Company 307th Engineer Battalion, 82nd Airborne Division, and really shaped me, really gave me the drive that I have today. And so, and then I continued on after that. I did get out. I'm going to be as transparent about everything as possible. I got out on a medical. I had a pretty serious ankle injury that ended up putting me out of the military. Did not want to go out of the military, but that was my option. And then came home, and having done the landscaping, hardscaping, lawn maintenance thing all my life, ever since I was old enough to drag a pile of grass into a pile with a rake. I've been helping my dad do that. He's a retired officer firefighter, and that was more or less my child care in those days. And so from there, so whenever I got out of the military, I fell back on that and started working for out at Eden Garden Center, and so headed up a crew with them. And so through my progression, left there and went to Denso for a little while. Then went to UT Steam Plant, where I ended up getting trained as a boiler operator, which is technically a stationary engineer. So I know and understand waterworks,
Right,
and plumbing and whatnot. So I'm trying to think of my whole
your
list.
whole thing.
Yeah,
You got some college in there too, don't you?
yeah. And so after the steam plant, in 2008 was the economic downturn. Got a new supervisor at steam plant, and some things were changing considerably. So I withdrew my 401k and went and cleared my head, and went and hiked the Appalachian Trail from Maine to Georgia for 5.5 months, and then let me step back for a minute. So in 2004, my dad was diagnosed with MS. So I got really involved. Fast forward back to the Appalachian Trail. So I got really involved with the Multiple Sclerosis Society and pushing for awareness about the disease. And so I thought, I'll start doing things to try to raise awareness about this. And so the Appalachian Trail was one of those things, kicking it off in 2009. And so, and then 2010, no, I did the trail in 2009. Oh, I did Ironman in 2009. I apologize. I did Ironman in 2009.
A lot of stuff going on.
You did the Ironman.
Yeah, that's a 2.4 mile ocean swim, 112 mile bike ride, and a 26.2 mile run. You have to complete it within 18 hours. And so I did that.
God.
Yeah, and that's the exact response that I was trying to get people to, because I feel that brings the awareness. Like, you're going to do what, And
Right.
so I did that, and then right after that, I went and hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2010. 2012, I organized a group of like-minded adventurers that was behind the effort of getting the word out about MS, and we formed a team, and we canoed the entire Mississippi River from its headwaters in Lake Itasca, Minnesota, to the Gulf of Mexico.
Holy cow!
And then
I remember when you done that, the pictures on Facebook. It was amazing. That was crazy.
So I might even add, we got our we have our own Forrest Gump. I
in
mean,
every way.
He's still running. I mean,
Cross with Joe Dirt.
Cross with Joe Dirt. That's good. That's very good. Yeah, that's cool. So, man, Matt, you've kind of done a lot. So, you know, from I guess high school till what 2010 or 11, you accomplished a lot that a lot of people wouldn't do. I mean, the Adirondack Trail from Maine to Georgia by itself, 5.5 months, is man versus mind and nature, and that feat all by itself is amazing. Most people hardly do a few trails of the whole thing, let alone that far. So, man, very good for you. That's cool.
Well, thank you. And the thing about these about these adventures that translates into everyday life or into professional life is it teaches you that discipline and how to overcome obstacles and persistence and planning and scheduling and
commitment.
I mean everything. A lot of things about it feeds into how to distribute it out into everyday life, whether you're in the workplace or you're at play with others or whatever. And so then after that, I to keep from being homeless, but also continue to fuel my adventure, my wanderlust. I started driving a tractor trailer truck as an over-the-road truck driver. So I had a radio and a bed and a beautiful nation to drive across, and so I was happy. And then I was taken out of the truck by my neurosurgeon. I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis and degenerative disc disease, and he immediately took me out of the truck. So then I started teaching truck driving, and that was very rewarding. You had to be, you had to know your stuff, and so that was a fun job. The school abruptly closed 1 year, almost 1 year to the date after I started, and then after that I decided, well, I need to do something. Okay, so I have this chronic pain. I'm not going to be able to fall back on my landscaping and hard construction type activities. So I decided to go back to school, and so in 2008, went back to school, and I earned my degree in occupational safety and health from Eastern Kentucky University. Graduated in 22. It was a strange time to be in college because of COVID, and
I bet.
Yeah, and then an unconventional student that is not too tech savvy, trying to do coursework online, and let me tell you, chemistry, physics, algebra online was maddening, but we won't go into all that. So, and then since then, I have, because that degree field is so legal based, not been able to find employment in that field due to the fact I don't have a master's degree. Can't afford a master's degree. I've exhausted all my military benefits, and so I kept wondering. I'm like, man, Lord, what do you want me? What do you want me to do? And this kept coming up. The idea of this kept coming up, and just so. So I've been paying close attention to it, all while at the same time I've been in contact with a lady in Idaho that puts veterans on her 100-acre property that for a minimum of 10 hours a week, you get a free place to put your camper and pay $120 a month for utilities in a beautiful part of Idaho. So it's like go to Idaho or run for office. And so
Here we are.
I officially submitted my paperwork in person by hand in Nashville, and I'm running as a write-in. Matthew Snow, make sure you put Matthew Snow.
Yes.
For highway superintendent, and election day is August 6th. And should you hear something during this podcast that you feel that you can get behind, I would greatly appreciate your support. But further, not just your support, I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear your ideas. This isn't about me. This is about us. Look, I've been all across this country, and I've been over across the pond. We live in one of the absolute most beautiful places in the world, one of the most special places in the world. And if I can take it a step further, a friend of mine that I used to work for, who has some deep ties to the music scene, a friend of his was in-person conversation with Robert Plant, lead singer of Led Zeppelin. He was here in the Smoky Mountains, Robert Plant was, and he was just going on about this is the most beautiful place he's ever been. Now, we're talking about Robert Plant being every nook and cranny across this world.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was going on about this is just the most spectacular place he's ever been. So I share that same sentiment. This place is special. I love it. My guts are in those mountains. My family history is right here. I grew up also helping in my grandmother's restaurant, Dolly's Restaurant, right up here at Hickory Corner. I grew up listening to the stories from the old farmers that were coming in for breakfast or lunch or dinner, and serving their tables as a kid, literally, or washing dishes. And I learned how to appreciate the hard work that the farmers that existed here, that once existed here, what they put in, and not just, and now I see it, what they put into this community and into this county. And I feel extremely blessed to have lived right here in Blount County, Tennessee.
Nice. Well, we got 8 or 9 on Rumble. We got 5 on Facebook, and when this is over, we'll make some reels and we'll get them generated. But I got one thing I want to ask.
Okay.
You didn't bring up yet, and was your the effort that you put into the efforts to help the people from the hurricane. Is it Helena? Am I saying that correctly?
Helene.
And and the things that you did there, and if you don't mind, talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah. Okay. I where do I begin on that? So, as soon as I started seeing reports coming out of Newport, I knew that was the closest place that I could get to. And that being said, my buddy owns a tree service, and I do the stump grinding for him and whatnot. And so I also have all the tools, dump trailer, other trailer. Anyways, I have all the stuff, and I'm like, I've got to at least get to Newport. And I'm also wilderness first responder and have some other life-saving certifications and whatnot. And so I headed to Newport, got on the phone, and with the rescue squad to try to plug into the command center. And from there, they were like, they were overwhelmed, and they were like, "We'll give you a call later." And the call never came, and understandably so. So I just started going to where I could access. Well, that turned into requests, and then that turned into hitting up the people back home for donations and whatnot. And then my friend Eric Perrin, who owns a trucking company, gave me one of his box trucks to run donations back and forth. Gave me another box truck to set up for a donation center. And we teamed up with Harley Davidson, Smoky Mountain Harley Davidson. And then they helped out monumentally. And then I teamed up with Steve Michaels, County Commissioner Steve Michaels. He was trying to join in on the effort, and so since both of us were running from Blount County to as far as Newport at the time, because there was one access point into North Carolina, and it was treacherous, and all of that road also was at that point taking all the interstate traffic. So we could only go so far for the first week or so, and so second week, I don't know. But anyways, but we ended up starting a nonprofit, and the stuff just started kind of pouring in, and so every day I was running over to, at that point, to North Carolina. I was able to make it to the hardest hit areas that you could access at that point, which I say it like that because like areas like Bat Cave, I've lost that rock. Anyways, there was several communities that you couldn't access for a long time. I mean, literally, like Bat Cave just got opened up like 3 months ago, literally. Wow. And the reporting on this side of the mountain was extremely poor, extremely biased, far from accurate. And the people on this side of the mountain still do not know how bad it is, even currently over there. And as this rain is hitting the roof right now, it makes me think about they just got flooded again. That whole area, that part of Western North Carolina and Newport. The lady died yesterday in the floods. It's far from over for those folks. And saw some devastating, horrific stuff. Never been to war, luckily, but I would dare say that this is the closest that you could be to a war zone type results in person in America. And we helped a family. I won't go into the full details of the story because it's too long for what time we have. But we helped a family that we had been told about from a church, and they had lost everything, of course, and their story of survival is amazing. But as I was talking to her, she was pointing out where some unfortunate victims wound up in what was her new front yard, or their front yard. That being said, she continued on, and she said, if you go right up if you come back out of our road and take a left and head several miles up the road to a what's called they nicknamed the little community after this family's name. Can't think of it right now. But 18 members, I think it was 18 members if I remember correctly, of that family alone died and that's a mile and a half from her house.
Right.
18, and now, and I have pictures of it. Now, where their homes were, just looks like a flat dirt field. Nothing. Just where the mountain washed out and the water took over. And that was, like I said, that was up one way. Her neighbors that lived across what was a small creek at the time, before Helene, two sisters lived in the house across the creek just down the way. They they got washed out of their house, and one of them had just had a total knee or hip replacement, and somehow, some way, while they were getting washed away in this what became a raging river, the two of them and their dog were able to latch a hold of a mattress and float down the river, and they finally got pinned under a tree in the river. And they were stuck there for overnight or whatever, and her just now having this replacement surgery. Wow. And they were both found alive, and there's stories out there. It's too serious. Anyways, I can't recall all this. I'm kind of caught off guard with everything.
You're good. You're good. I think it needed to be. I think it needed to be told. This is you're passionate about a lot of things. So the military, obviously, the trails, the what'd you call that?
The Appalachian Trail.
No, the swimming and the biking.
Oh, Ironman.
Ironman. Yeah, my bad. The Ironman. I didn't want to say it wrong.
No worries.
And then your effort with the hurricane and all the damage that it did. So, I mean, again, we're joking, but you're the Forrest Gump of Blount County, So, don't
I recall you being a marshal for one of the Isle of Man TT races?
Yeah. Actually, just today I was quickly looking at my Facebook memories because my phone, my messages on everything has gone buck wild, and so Isle of Man is actually going on right now. It's a 2-week race, and first week is all practice and qualifying, and then the second week is all races. And so today kicks off the actual racing. It's already killed 2 riders. Two seriously injured, and a motorcycle flew into the crowd and hit 8 people, and some of those are seriously injured. So yes, to your point, or to your question, I did have the opportunity, and this goes into I am a firm believer for volunteer work. I happened to be over in that area because while I was in college, I went to Ireland on scholarship for photography. And then, so I'm like, heck, I'm going to go over early and catch the Isle of Man. Well, while I was there, I got to talking to someone, and they're like, what's your credentials? And so through it all, they're like, hey, won't you sign up to be a marshal, a safety marshal? With your credentials, you can do it. And so next thing you know, I'm in a training camp, watching these videos, taking tests, and then I end up wearing an orange vest to be a safety marshal for the Isle of Man.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. And since then, because I got to see how you can get in, I've done several races since then. I've done IndyCar racing. I've done the Daytona 200 motorcycle race like 3 times.
Man,
wow.
MotoGP, that's the big boys of motorcycle racing. Motorcycle racing is my greatest passion. Like I'm stupid about motorcycle racing.
I like it too.
And so I've done a couple MotoGP races. Anyway, so yeah, I believe in volunteer work. It opens doors. You meet all kind of people, learn new skills, just everything. So, yeah.
Interesting, very interesting that you've accomplished so much, and then now, for the life of me, you want to go into politics. The job itself is not political, I don't think. Maybe it could be. I could be wrong. But for the position, you have to run, in a political race in order to do that. So yeah, man, talk about your passion for that, because got to be good, I'm sure.
Okay, so you mentioned a little something other about all that stuff, and now all of a sudden wanting to do the politics thing. And you're right, I'm not crazy about politics, because luckily this side, like you said, is not too political-ish, from the outside looking in. But that being said, I reached out to my friends. And I laid out that whole opportunity to go to Idaho. I reached out to several of my friends about it and family. And I said, look, I'm at a point in my life where I can turn and walk away from all of it and go live my second half of life peacefully, because my first half has been it's just been a constant fight, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And so I can live the second part of my life in peace, or I can do this. And resounding responses were, don't run for office. That being said, like I said, I love Blount County. Whenever I left here in 1999 to go to basic training, I was just like our normal society here in Blount County, kind of slow living, nothing really to do, blah, 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 blah. And then after going to basic training and then going to jump school and then going to my regular duty station for a little while and finally being able to get back home, I remember driving through the gorge on 40 and I cried like a damn baby. Whenever I saw those mountains, I'm like, man, there's home. There's home.
Yeah.
And a boy had become a man, And so before this race thing, I wanted to get out of Blount County because of how Blount County it's not Blount County that we knew. And it was driving me crazy. And so I was exploring my options to get out of here, hence the Idaho thing. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. No incumbent should run unopposed. Others should have their chance to share fresh ideas and do what they can to help serve their community, their surroundings. And so I love this area. And if some things that I see in my mind could take place, it's still salvageable. It's still beautiful. Still a great place to call home. Great place to raise kids. There again, being all across this country, you see how life is totally different, and even at that kid level, you can just tell there's a drastic difference in quality of life, respect, and those types of qualities out of our kids versus these other areas. And I mean that it is obvious when you go to these places, So I'm just really passionate about Blount County, and with my skill set and knowledge, and now that I have a degree that just happens to loosely qualify me for this position, which is kind of strange, the qualifications for this. I've always believed in persistence. Nothing good comes easy. I'm gonna give it a shot, and so that's what finally came to me. Let's see if I'm in tune, very in tune to what's being said in Blount County, and I know that Blount Countyans are not happy with the direction that the county is going in, and so, and nor am I. So here I am,
Very cool. You got a question about, since you're running for office, while the write-in has to be Matthew, would it not be beneficial to use Matthew on all the ads so folks will remember to write in Matthew? You, that's going to be a technicality, right? If it's just Matt.
Well, okay. Yeah, found out I got some good information today.
Okay.
We're going to roll with that as far as Matthew. I spoke to the lady at the elections office at the state today in Nashville whenever I dropped my papers off. And I said, hey, listen, I said, I've gone by Matt for 48 years. That's what everybody knows me as. I said, and I just thoughtlessly put it out there, Matt Snow. And so now everything says Matt Snow. I said, but my paperwork says Matthew Snow. And I said, is that going to create an issue? She said, your county will give, what was the word she used? Basically variances that they'll accept.
Right.
So to be on the safe side, put Matthew for sure.
Right.
Or if you want to put Matthew, Matt, Snow, whatever. She said that they would probably even, depend on how, we'll just leave that loosely there. They would just accept the fact that my last name was put in.
Right.
Well, I said, it only makes sense. I said, think about write-ins that have a long, strange spelling, or you might miskey something whenever you're writing it in digitally. It can cost a vote. She said, those things are considered.
Okay. So at the bottom of the screen, we have Matt's name scrolling. It says welcome Matthew Snow for Highway Superintendent, Blount County, Tennessee, write-in candidate. But it's spelled out exactly the way that Matthew's name is spelled. So in this write-in campaign, we're going to do our best. Anything that Resolute Exposure does or whatever, we're going to make sure that we make sure it says Matthew versus Matt. Last thing we need to do is something like that based over a stupid technicality. You know what I mean? So,
yep.
Okay.
There's a lot of murderers walking free because of technicalities like that.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So we want to be detailed in that as far as that goes. So qualification wise, Robert, do you got any questions so far?
Maybe just for everybody out there watching, that doesn't know much about this position. What's some of the responsibilities that the highway superintendent, does?
Excellent question. So, some of the duties that the highway superintendent or the highway department does is, of course, maintaining the roadways as far as the mowing, mitigating problem hazard trees, and lining up stuff for utilities, paving, fixing the roadways, and also developing the new roadways. Concentration on egress and ingress of these places. And of course, you have to work in conjunction with the other departments. Water department, and police department, fire department, and whatnot, and the engineering firms. And so, it's maintaining what you have with public safety in mind, and having forethought of the new development, the new development that's coming in, and whenever I think of stuff like that, I think about the respect towards the citizens, as far as how much of the tax dollars are going towards that new development. How is this going to affect the traffic flow or the noise, or all the things that I find to be impeding on citizens, that seems to be, and this isn't just a Blount County thing, that seems to be just kind of something that has ran wild in the last 15 years is just, build stuff here, put a road here, it's all over the place. It's all over this nation, and with no consideration for the citizens. Yet we better get them taxes paid.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it does seem like that is a nationwide problem. You hear people from every single state talking about how their wishes are ignored. They're not given any attention. So, that's crazy.
Yes, and then this whole new mass migration, and there again, it's not just happening in East Tennessee or Tennessee; it's all over the place. There again, looking for homes outside of here. I was trying to be a respectful new neighbor should I move, and so I would go on these community pages at these other states, and to try to put my feelers out to see if how the welcome would be. Americans are pissed.
Yeah.
So
and it's not just at one thing. It's at everything that's going on in the county right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people happy with anything right now.
And it's benefiting few.
Yeah.
So being redneck as I am, your job would be in charge of potholes. And the edges of roads breaking, like where a ditch line's at, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or, like when I'm headed home there, and they did a fantastic job widening where you turn off of 321 on to, is it Eljoy Road, I think, right there where the old car wash is at?
Yes.
But it's still not enough. And because today I was all the way back to the Dollar General where the store is, and so as a redneck, you'd be in charge of those kinds of things. I would make my complaints to your department about when are these things going to be fixed, right? And I'm just being sarcastic.
Yes. No, but yes, you're right. You're right. And then of course, even at that, it still has to be brought forth to the everything else that is involved, for approval and whatnot. And I can see and understand that side of things. We want something done. We want it done yesterday, but there's many people involved that slow these things down. But that being said, I know some of them. I know things can get done whenever faster whenever they want things done.
Right. Yeah.
It's like everybody would agree with that.
Yeah. Do we have to have, and I may be using the wrong word, how many studies do we have to come in for someone to realize that the traffic is bigger than the infrastructure that's carrying the burden? Is that something that the highway department gets involved with, those type of things? And yes. On the other side of that, why does it cost so damn much when if you just did a study with the citizens out there, they could tell you, because we live here, just exactly what it is. And so is that?
Yes. To that point, why does it cost so much? Well, because we hire our buddies from these third-party contractors that are from other states, i.e., well, I won't go in. We're just the laymen, what we say don't really carry water. And so,
yes.
So we have to hear it from the professionals, and their thoughts and opinions cost a lot of money. And those are things that of course drive up the costs. Yes, that's it is. What was the first part of your question there? Do you recall?
No, not exactly. It was. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was done. I was listening to you.
Honestly, we were talking about the study and that the people would know that actually live within the community. Since you do live here, what are some things that you see that that, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but that you might see need of fixing almost immediately?
As far as countywide, trying to think of. Because there's several problematic areas that need addressed. The intersection. I'm trying to go outside of city limits of Maryville and Alcoa. That's. But for example, the junction at 129 and 411. I don't know what's so hard about driving through that area but it's become a meat grinder down that way.
Huh.
There's also there's patterns taking place just up the road from there, right there. What's it called? CNS Tire. What's the tire place right there on 411?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah. There's been quite a few fatalities right there. William Blunt Drive. It's not William Blunt Drive. The one that intersects with William Blunt Drive.
Is it Morganton Road?
Morganton Road. I mean, there needs to be some hazard analysis taking place right there. Find out why. I mean, there's multiple hot spots along Morganton Road.
Yes.
Yeah. And that being said, some of these other problematic areas, not just for car accidents, but for flooding, for blind views at intersections. I drive vehicles, anything from, I'm in all kinds of vehicles all the time. And so anything from a little sedan to a tractor trailer truck, and I'll come up to intersections in Blount County. It's like, you can't see. Great example right here. The other day, I was traveling on Ellajoy Road, headed towards Heritage, and came across two young boys on bicycles, and so they're going around a blind right curve, not sharp, but anyway, but it was dangerous enough, and I could tell that they shouldn't be out there anyways. So I stopped and pulled them over and asked them if they needed help. And they're like, well, we're just trying to get to this. They wasn't familiar. We're trying to get to this bridge up here and everybody jumps off of it. And so they're, of course, talking about Coulter's. Well, in conversation, they decided they wanted to go to Perry's Mill. Well, as I'm turning left at the Coulter's right there, I wasn't even pulling out of that parking lot at Coulter's. I'm trying to look around the curve, trying to figure out my camera angle here. As I'm going around the curve, looking around the curve to see if anything's coming, the kudzu and plant material is just grown up over the bridge to where you can't even see around that curve now. Well, people will run through that. How fast do you think, on average, people are going around that curve?
50, 55.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got young drivers fresh out of high school for the summer trying to pull in and out of there. You know, those kind of things I pay close attention to, and I see them all over the place. And there again, not just Blount County, but if I'm elected to do this, that is a priority. We're going to start paying attention to these problematic areas that compromise public safety, whether it be a high concentration of vehicle accidents / fatality involved accidents, flooding, hazard trees that are hanging off of cliff tops, like like you're driving through Hatcher's Cut, in Wallen. Just I want to do a greater job of analyzing these things and mitigating them, because it's there, just when. But if we're proactive instead of reactive, this is what tax dollars are supposed to go for in something like this. Not cutting in a nice new big fresh whatever for AI data centers.
Did you just say that? Hey, Robert usually asks this question, and so I'm going to steal it from him. Is if elected, are you going to be transparent?
Absolutely. I have a list of things that my ideas, and that is one of them. While I'm tech stupid, I have all kind of tech-driven, tech-based ideas. And so transparency, I'm huge about, especially since we give such a great percentage of our hard-earned time to taxes. And so, that being said, tech does not cost a lot. Being very effective with technology does not cost nothing. And here's a plug. That's why I'm running my campaign 100% on social media. It's an effective tool. Doesn't cost a thing. So, and I think that translates into fiscal responsibility, So
you don't want or need any more money from anybody just to run.
I don't want a dime. So, but as far as the question, transparency is huge to me. As some of the commissioners. So we've all made amends. Well, not all. Some of us have made amends. But that being said, it's as simple as this. It's not hard to go on the backside of a website and write the programming, create a drop-down widget that creates a portal for people to put in their ideas and vice versa, but also do the same thing for transparency. Here's the existing projects. Here's upcoming projects. Here's potential projects. Hyperlink them, puts forth the information, projected cost so far. We have people on payroll. I mean, you're telling me we don't have at this point in 2026, we don't have people that are internet or that are computer savvy enough to
enter data,
to work websites, create and build and manage websites. Not only that, there again, social media pages, same thing. But not only that, I've noticed over the years, it seems like, for many years, not just last 10 years, many years, it seems like our Blount County Highway Department crews are just kind of thrown out there and expected just, I want to demonstrate daily through social media the type of hard work these guys and girls are doing. There again, social media is free. People can see through video and photos of what's going on, but it also allows for more transparency, what's going on with this project and everything else.
That's also something 90% of people is connected to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social media,
Yeah.
everybody's on it.
Yes. And, and it's going to be more and more, I mean, and I don't want to sound whatever, but just like right now it's being presented to me, what if you're going to run your campaign 100% online, what about the people that don't do social media? That generation, you know what I mean? But if we plant the seeds now on this, making it a norm for seeing these work crews out here just laboring through all elements, and we get to see that on the daily. As I don't know how to word this. I don't want to sound insensitive. There's going to be a transition take place in our demographics.
I know. Yep. I get what you're saying. Exactly. Yeah.
So, but in return of that, it instills pride in these workers. It makes them want to do not just a good job that they do, but a great job that they do. And so, and that is that there's several components to that transparency thing that that allows you to say, here's where your taxes are going. Here's why this is needed, in fact. There again, okay, so there's talks about this project coming in. Well, you get your engineering team, your architect team, you get all the teams and your studies and your social media crew, and you go out and you discuss, here's the proposed project and project site. Here's what is potentially going to take place, and maybe show some blueprints where. Here's what it's going to alleviate, or here's what it could contribute to, both positively or negatively. It is just a powerful tool to give greater understanding to all involved on each side of the coin. And so that is my idea with the transparency thing. And further, because I'm a citizen, I feel citizens should be informed. Things that I would hear or become privy to, it's going to be put out there. Hey, here there might be a such and such coming in place in 10 years. Well, Matt Snow is going to say, hey, just heard such and such might be taking place in 10 years. But I tell you this much while I'm talking about this. Some of the things that have come into our communities that drives me crazy. These businesses, of course, national chain and the bigger businesses that get the tax breaks and whatnot, they're going to start maintaining their property. That's it. If you're going to come into our communities, you're going to respect our people in the community. There again, I just recently made a right onto Temple Road off of 411 there at Hickory Corner, and the grass is above eye level in a vehicle trying to turn on 411 at Dollar General.
Yep.
It first of all, I don't see how this is the health and safety side of it. I don't see how these businesses accept that liability and the chances of, which is called wanton, the potential liability of being able to for a lawyer to come out there and hey, yep, right there, that problematic area that belongs to that business owner should have been mitigated because it's a direct correlation to the death of this person.
Well, that's very cool. We like the idea of preventative measures versus reactive measures. I like the idea of the transparency. I like the idea of making sure that people understand where their tax dollars are going. The other thing, we had some things happen where they're removing what they call that, some pre-approved locations where road work was supposed to be done. They removed it based on future right away, whatever it is. So Matthew Snow is exactly what we need to put on the ballot. And what day is that?
August 6th is the election.
Okay.
And I see in I see in the comment section there, Scrappy Dog. I'm wanting to be engaging here. I see that Scrappy Dog says, I believe the architects and engineers need to spend 1 year in the field working on their so-called plans. I'm in complete agreement with that.
That's a good idea.
And I'll take it a step further, Scrappy Dog. Being a truck driver, and like I said, my father being a retired firefighter, and having watched him drive fire truck, for a great portion of my life. You see where these engineers have failed miserably. So to your point, as far as getting out and doing the practical stuff, and this is part of my argument on this being qualified for this position per the state requirements. I feel that these civil engineers and architects must graduate CDL school. They must drive emergency crew vehicles in their curriculum while they're in school. I don't mean like extended period of time or anything. They need to experience it, because it compromises public safety. But not only that, it makes as far as on the truck driving side of things, to try to weave 68 feet of truck in a 90-degree turn where they decided to put all these crazy obstacles and everything else, and no forethought that, because they drive BMWs, they can just whiz right in there. Well, you just now put a loading dock. Anyways, I think that engineers should experience that. Now, will we ever have the power, authority, or the voice to make that happen? No, but I am with you, Scrappy Dog. Further, and I see another one as a truck driver. What about roundabouts? Exactly. The roundabouts there again. They're thought of from these sedans get around it just fine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand in these roundabouts. If you clip a curb, first of all, you're going to pop that tire. Well, there goes that driver's job at a lot of these companies.
Yep.
It's preventable. It's preventable. That being said, if it hits just right and that load shifts, guess what? You've got a tractor trailer truck that's going around a roundabout and it's articulating like this, and that load shifts. Well, it's going to flip that truck. I've seen it. So, and not only that, what a lot of people don't know, in addition to that, these trucks now have all this autonomous technology coming into play. Well, going through those roundabouts is hell, because it's trying to do the automatic braking. You got buzzers and bells and everything else going on. You need all of your faculties and no distraction when you're driving the tractor trailer. They've added to the problem with all this technology in the truck. So that front sensor on that bumper is reading the roundabout in whatever way. I'm sorry. They're reading the roundabout in whatever way. Some of them have landscapes in them, hardscapes, to where you're not getting around them. You're going to damage the city, county's property. You're going to damage the company's truck. There's those above us with bigger brains that aren't using all the brains that they've been given. It's what
Good.
you know. I worked 30 years construction, residential, and commercial. I've had to rework their plant. Even had one figured in field work. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement, Scrappy Dog. I mean, if you saw what the qualifications were for this position, for this elected position, it's written specifically for civil engineers. And so, that being said, it's I too have had to go in with, during, and after civil engineers, had to repair things and whatnot. I'm not trying to dog civil engineers. I'm just saying that there's a lot of just getting a plan, a blueprint thrown together, and charge the price for the job, and out the door it goes. You know, so I'm right there with you. What else are we seeing? Are you seeing anything on any of your other platforms?
The
No, I can't
So-
even find a Facebook video.
I got it up. The Facebook. It's James is in there. Apparently, it says your mama was in there.
Don't talk about my mom.
Judy Hatcher Snow. She says Mama's watching, so she got a bunch of hearts out of that. Crystal's been on there. Shirley's been on there. James Richard. Daryl
That's
Monday was
wild.
on there.
It just tells me the live video hasn't started on the event page.
So remember what we talked about yesterday with the event page messing me up? I left the event page alone and just made a new live thing because you were saying that people were having trouble finding it because they actually had to physically go to the event page.
Yeah.
So I just put it out there live instead. But it says we have 9 watching on Facebook. We have 3 watching on YouTube, and then we have 8 on Rumble. So,
well, thank y'all everybody for tuning in. And
Heck yeah.
so, but go ahead, Brian. I apologize.
No, you're all right. But before you go, there was something that. Let's see. Okay, before. Tell people where they can find you, either on Facebook, email, whatever information you want to give out there so that anybody that's interested in reaching out to that they can. Are you doing any kind of meet and greets or anything like that? You may want to plug real quick. And then I'm going to pull up a small article that we all talked about in the beginning that we would put our 2 cents on real quick before we ended the show since it pertained to highway superintendent stuff.
Okay. Well, and I have plenty more time if y'all want to extend. If we can't, whatever. I will go ahead and answer your request and suggestion. So I, as far as meet and greets, I would love to. Luckily, this is the type of position where you can just talk to strangers. Hey, what are you seeing? What are your concerns? What have been your concerns? I was at the mower shop the other day and ran into a crew, and it was like, this is exactly the kind of stuff that needs to happen. And they shot some of their concerns and whatnot to me. I am up for meet and greets. There's crazy bylaws on some of that kind of stuff, and because I was purposely coming into this late, I'm not privy on them. I'm going to have to speak to some of those in the know, but I am all for it. But I also want to reduce any type of something where we're going to have to need money or get a special permission or something notarized or some kind of legal whatever to, for liability stuff. I want to talk to people. I mean, if you all want to have me over to your house and call the neighbors over, I'm for it. As far as getting the word out and everything, like I say, no yard signs. Just because it's an expenditure, and I think that we can be very effective doing. I mean, this like this right here is extremely effective. Social media driven efforts can get the word out. Just have to get the information out there that people buy into, and so that's where I'm at on all that. I would love to I'm this isn't about me. This is about us, and I can't learn. I can't become knowledgeable of concerns on one end of the county that I don't visit too often. Whenever I'm up in, hit me with it. Hit me with it. I will not share my personal phone number. That is the biggest thing.
That's fine.
And
I don't blame you.
yeah. I mean, I think that's just one of those understood things. But you can hit me on private messenger on my personal page, Matt Snow, or the campaign page, which is Matt Snow for right now. Matt Snow writing, whatever it is, it'll come up.
Yep.
And so, but that's my primary efforts on that is I want to help the people, but I need the people to help us.
So
word of mouth and social media.
you had Matt Breeding on here telling you to stop. You're making way too much sense.
Love you, Matt Breeding. Man, you're awesome. He's been in tune to my rants and whatnot for years, and mine and his classic conversation or go-to conversation he likes to throw out there to me and remind me of quite often is the big award-winning double diamond in front of Rural King. What's that garbage? And so, but so yeah, that's. I'm glad you're here for it, Matt.
Yeah, me too.
I do have a list of things that I want the people to hear and know. This list of things is just a list that I've compiled over a considerable period of time. Well before I even considered running for office. Some of these are due to the Gatlinburg fires. Some of these are from my list, from Helene, from other things, public safety issues. But these are just ideas. This is not something if I get elected, we're doing this and we're doing that. No, it's what the people want. But I think they're rather logical, thought out, needed, fresh ideas that Blount County hasn't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll go through these lists, and I would love for feedback in the comment sections on all the media outlets that are on this right now. So it's about 14 items here. So communicate with current project, communicate current projects, and communicate about upcoming projects. Respect neighbors of the communities where these projects are at by informing them of the progress while also delivering a finished product in a very respectful and timely manner. Create a tab. Some of these we've already talked about. Create a tab on the Highway Department website that specifically gives information about those projects. This one is a big one to me, and it's so simple, and this is something that grants and just private donations can handle. Like I said, I've been all across this country, and I've been in some awesome small towns and awesome counties. We have little patriotic representation in our county. We are the gateway to the Smoky Mountains, the only free national park in the country. I don't see anything wrong with that. Our county lines having some type of representation of the American flag, yada yada. That being said, some of these more condensed areas in the county have several. You all have seen the towns that have multiple flags, American flags hanging in a row and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We don't see it around here. At least I've paid pretty close attention. I mean, we have a comic mural across the street from Blount County Courthouse. Right downtown where Sam Houston signed into the military. But anyways, so um, that is a big thing for me. Some American flags may be donated to the department to put on our trucks, just like some of these fire departments across America have, waving from behind their trucks and whatnot. Sense of pride, sense of patriotic uh, patriotic pride, for lack of words. Be more active on social media, showing the hard work that this department does, showing progress, showing how we are actually mitigating problems and moving forward with progress. Firewise program. This is a way to control some of the growth. And what it is, it's local community efforts pulling together to prevent fire hazards and whatnot. So they create actual laws, bylaws, using codes enforcement and whatnot to protect their property from fire hazards, their communities from fire hazards. Townsend desperately needs to look into this. It's called Firewise program. For any of y'all that like to Google things, and that is a public safety thing. And how it ties into the highway department is you'd be working along. The highway department would be working in conjunction with the fire departments and law enforcement agencies. Getting secondary roads removed from GPS. People don't realize that you can do that, but it has to take the local government to do so.
Interesting.
Yeah. Making existing issues and hazards priority over new construction and development. Using our taxpayer dollars wisely with logic and forethought. Transparency. Creating an updated portal for citizens to communicate their needs. We can discuss that one. Implement training programs for employees. Empower the employees so they can grow. We can instill pride in them. Growth in the department, which makes it a more effective and productive and efficient department. Explore grants that would support these programs and pay for certification courses. Send employees to the schools for training. Like I say, that would not be a taxpayer. That would be grants. Drill down on the budget and see what we can exclude, and out of that, hopefully offer pay raises and abolish some of the taxes that exist currently that should no longer exist.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, why would we give them extra money when they didn't need it? Because they know they're, that I don't. Matt, you're going to have a hard time winning on talking stuff like that. You know what I mean?
But also, when looking at the budgets and the previous budgets, these are called audits, we'll say. We're going to look into them with extreme discrimination. We're going to peel the onion. If we would peel it, So that's some of the list, some of the things I've thought of. Like I said, these are just my ideas. It's not what we're going to go with hardcore. That's not what I'm trying to say. I want the people to know, and they see and hear these ideas, we move forward with them, and vice versa. But I am a citizen. I want you all to have ideas brought forth that would be helpful. I want to give. I want this to be an opportunity for the citizens to have a voice again.
Justin Smith said that he doesn't see many American flags, but he sees all kinds of more of the Maryville ones. And,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Some of these guys, that's the first time, Matt Breeding and Justin Smith. We have a lot of the regulars on there. These are new. Their comments are great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
I love it,
hopefully
Justin.
you guys like what you're seeing. What's that?
I was telling Justin, I love the comment. Yeah.
Oh, you know him too?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Nice.
that's pretty good.
That's
so
my treasure.
all right. He's
Yeah.
So you've been on for an hour and 22 minutes. You want to take a couple minutes to talk about this this neat little article that Kevin J. McNeil. He's fantastic in some of the stuff that he does. He's
Yes.
on the information that he gives us, and it pertains to pretty much pertains to what what you're talking about right here. So let me see if I can't.
And we're going to do also one other thing in my list of ideas. Bridge inspections.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, bridge. I almost don't have to elaborate on that. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows exactly what she's getting at as soon as those two words came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
going to be up. I think that's one of those things that should be up there in priority. There again, no surprises. Be proactive. Repair, maintain before it gets to the point to where, hey neighbors, y'all aren't going to be able to use this road for 8 months. Oh, we start tomorrow.
Yeah. What happened down there by Porter School and all that, So
Yeah.
you did plenty of pictures with that right there, didn't you? So all right, let's look at this picture right here. You want to see this real quick? This is let's see. Let me pull it up. I don't know if you can. Let me see. I guess, is that the best way? Is that better?
I'm going to step away for
I
just
don't know if you can see her. Go ahead.
Just while you're prefacing that. I'm sorry.
You're all right. We're going to have him. Yeah. We got three photos, 3 statements that go with it. You seeing something? Rockford Bridge.
No, I was just reading it.
Oh, can you see that? What's on the screen? Well, you got 5 or 6 screens. You probably zoom it right down, can't you?
Pretty much.
Apologize about that.
No, you're all right. Do you know Brandy Smith?
I do. That's my treasurer, Justin Smith's wife.
She wanted to know what bridge inspection. So there you go.
If we could hear sarcasm, I'd imagine we would hear it with that one.
Right.
Sure. So, all right. So on this, it says the PPE is not funded by state of feds. Still tentatively scheduled for construction start in 2036. And if you look at it says fiscal year 27 through 2035, 10-year planned projects, Knoxville TPO. Is this something that Highway Superintendent would be involved in when it says State Route 162 Pellissippi Parkway extension from State Route 33 to State Route 73 completes State Route 33 interchange 2036, and the cost is somewhere in the neighborhood of $372 million according to what's outlined across this photo here. You see that?
Yeah.
Then on the next photo, it says public notice. the Knoxville Regional Transportation Planning Organization, TPO, technical committee will meet on Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 at 9 a.m. June 9th on a Tuesday. Is that open to the public? Do you know, Matt?
I would think so because it's public information. But let me speaking of public information.
Notice.
Yeah, speaking of public information,
It's a public notice, right?
how many people read physical newspapers anymore? Look how big that information is. You know, you're reading a digital newspaper. You're not. Anyways, that's
No, exactly.
Right,
it gives the address, the executive. Yeah. Go ahead, Robert.
No, I say he's right though. If the newspaper's the only place they put that, and nobody digs it out there and puts it online or social media, then a very small turnout. You know, so kind of by design.
Yeah. Also, it's Tuesday on June 9th at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, what are who they want there? The old folks home? I don't understand that.
I guess.
So it says the executive. Exactly. The executive board will meet on Wednesday, June 24th, also in the small assembly room. Agendas will be available on TPO website at knoxtpo.org. 5 to 7 days. You may visit the TPO office at Suite 403 in the City County building. If you need assistance or accommodations, please go there. It says that the next meeting of the TPO is June 9th, but sets the priorities for road projects, and TDOT makes the final decision, right? So, like you said, Matt, there's little to no. I mean, this should be promoted on social media more so now than the newspaper. I'll tell you what, I'll go as far as I read 0 Daily Times. If Kevin J. McNeil ain't publishing something like that, or because if you try to open it up, if you're not a subscriber or you're paying or something like that, they don't want you to read it or whatever the case may be. But social media should be interacting with social media and the newspaper at the same time, whatever that may be. And then the final photo is this right here, which it says, our reps on the TPO are failing. No firm projects on the priority list for Blount County, only one pending in Maryville Foothills, Fott Street. And if you look at it, it shows lead agency Knoxville Regional, Farragut, Knoxville, Farragut, Knoxville, Maryville, Foothills Mall Drive Extension Phase 2 from Fott Street to McCammon Avenue, pending. Whatever the PED stands for, authorized activity, funding and sources is S, I guess, what is it, state and state budget, STBG. I could be wrong. I'm not as familiar with it. And then the amount is around $26,000. So who is part of the who are our reps for the TPO? Does anybody out there know?
I do not.
No, and that's the sad thing about it. And I received a message about this earlier. I'm privy to the TPO simply due to the early inception of Pellissippi coming in initially, and at that point, I'm like, why are all of these governments more or less dictating and governing our county? It's kind of like NATO or the UN on the federal level. Hold up a second. And I question its involvement with our government, with our local government. I think it allows for unneeded activity. Let's put it simply.
Well, I think I'm going to do a little digging on who's over our who should be there for who our representatives are. Thank you for the TPO there. And then once I get that information out, we'll do our best to blast it so that everybody can ask why these individuals are not looking out for the best interests of Blount County in this right here. You know what I mean? It's a shout out to Kevin J. McNeil. Appreciate all the work that he does. I also like the fact that he is up for when someone says, "Hey, this may not be correct information," he is quick to say, "Hey, help me find the correct information, and we'll update it as needed." You know that. Yeah, send it to me because he wants to be right as well. You know what I'm. He wants to be as accurate as possible. We want to be as accurate as possible. You know, we don't want to be out there, saying things that aren't as accurate. For example, the AI data center thing was a big deal at the last commission. A lot of people talked about it. And I'll do this real briefly, and then we'll end the show, guys, because otherwise we could talk about this stuff for hours, right? So. The AI data center thing, we had Misty Dawn Davis in the chat. She came out and said no about it, and then we had Blood Partnership come out about it, said, well, they're going to say no, of course. Now all this has been talked about for quite some time. Now they're going to come out and be involved in it because they see the outcry from the community. And then you have other commissioners that are coming out going, some of these things are rumors. I'm here to tell you, the CEO of Alcoa, Oblinger, his own words, quoted, said he is working with developers. He has 10 sites in America, and the one in South Plant used to be the biggest chewer of water and electricity to run this super smelter that they used to have. If you are the CEO of Oblinger or of Alcoa and your name is Oblinger and you're reporting on stuff that says that you are working with developers, I can tell you, it's not a rumor.
Right. I think what they're trying to spin it off of Blount County because I even mentioned this on the last 2 Tuesday shows we had that the South Plant is Alcoa. They need to be showing up at the Alcoa Planning Commission and the Alcoa Commission meetings.
Right.
They've got the right intentions, but they're showing up at the wrong place. Blount County has nothing to do with it. They got no say so. They might be able to pull off some slick rezoning stuff, but I think that's about all they can do, if they're even allowed to do that. But it's all Alcoa as far as the South Plant goes, and then you talk about an AI data center, it's all Alcoa, and nobody's showing up there. Nick Bryant came out and made a post, said he had talked to somebody there, and they haven't had no opposition, nobody coming talking about an AI data center. Everybody showed up at Blount County.
Right, which I think caught the commission off guard because I really believe they thought people were going to be there about the PPE, and I could be wrong. They wouldn't tell us if they got caught off guard or not. But the AI thing is no longer a rumor; it's actual. Whether it's in this county or not in this county, that may be the rumor. But just know this county has one of the top locations in the country that already has the infrastructure in place for something like this to take off, and we're not going to hear about it until it's done because it's all going to be done behind closed doors. Then it's going to be involved in workshops between Maryville, Alcoa, and Blount County, which is already done. And then when they have the meetings, then it'll be voted on. And when you guys show up for these meetings, familiarize yourself with the Roberts Rule. Right? Because when you get up there, I think a lot of people show up at the commission meetings believing that when they get up there, they're going to have this interaction with the 21 Blount County commissioners and how many are on the Maryville or Alcoa sites. But that's not how it works. Even in the workshops, you have your agenda outlined, and they give you so much time for it, and then so much time for non-agenda. At least in Blount County Commission does. So you're probably not going to get them. Right. You're not going to get, we're not going to get, like some people say, we get the dumb looks. And I don't think that they're dumb looks. They're not in a position to say anything. It's designed that way. I want to say on purpose, but there maybe be a real reason as to, otherwise you might have a couple hundred people just rambling on for nothing whatsoever.
rules of decorum, rules of order,
Decorum.
just
There
to
you go.
keep it in an orderly fashion and moving
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. But you can reach out to them through email, phone calls, that kind of stuff like that. What an asshole.
That is great. He goes from here to there. And you all
But
thought
anyway.
teleportation wasn't real.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Matt just
I can't
teleport.
believe he was.
That's how good he'll be at the job. He can just teleport from site to site.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
That
wondering,
was
man.
not
How'd you
magic
show up in my
television.
studio?
Now,
All
he
right,
walks
man.
in
We're
on
gonna
my
wrap this thing
studio,
up.
Let me
If
say,
he walks in on my studio, oh, crap, dude.
let me throw out another idea item that I forgot to mention earlier. So you all remember like building trades in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And I was saying
Mr.
earlier
Conning.
about more or less beautification of Blount County, and it's the gateway to the Smokies. And so I'm big about there again the volunteer deal, and the veteran community. And so I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. So here's something that I've envisioned, and it has multiple ends to it. So in building trades, you're allowed to leave school and go work on these projects.
Yep.
Well, Heritage and William Blount both have ag science classes. Well, so I think it would be wise to have opportunities through the highway department that would allow students in those type of programs, building trades, ag sciences, some of the others, to come out to some of these sites, see how things work on them to a point without creating huge liability.
Right.
But also give them special projects that creates beautification projects that they can say is theirs. And it'd be a volunteership through the highway department. Such as William Blount has an awesome greenhouse out there full of plants and stuff. And they sell them, which that's great. I don't know if y'all paid attention to the exits and whatnot in Western North Carolina, but they have wildflowers and whatnot in the medians, that are low lying. They don't obstruct view or anything like that. Absolutely beautiful. Well, what if on 321 on Lamar Alexander, as you're coming out of Lenore City, we do some beautification projects like that using veterans that volunteer and these school classes that could do something like that. Wildflower seed is next to nothing, but it gets them out, and they actually get to do the hands-on. Here's a finished result. They'll see it for years later. But like I say, with some of the highway department stuff, look, this empowers our next generations coming out of high school. This would empower next generation coming out. They would see how things work. They would find interest. Oh, cool! Look, he's welding the. Anyways.
Yes.
So I think encouraging involvement through the highway department on some of these projects for beautification at the gateway of the Smokies, and I don't mean just right there at 321 at the Blount County line. I'm talking about around the county. We just kind of left things drab, and the minimal effort. Everything's in Copilot, instead of hey, we're a community. Let's come together as a community. And in these communities, we have subcultures and subcommunities that want to do things like this, that will empower some of these things, some of these involved.
I think that's a great idea, involving the kids too.
Yeah.
Get them interested in something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So I was in building trades at Heritage High School. I took the vocational class. I wanted to be a contractor, a carpenter, and all that. And it's exactly what we did. 3.5 hours of the day, we went out and we did projects that people got us involved in and that kind of thing. And, you know, you're talking 90, 91, 92, you know what I mean? So we built barns, we built small sheds, we did all kinds of stuff. It's what propelled me. Here I am 30 some years later. I'm a senior carpenter. I learned a skill from the teacher that prepared me to be a productive citizen in the community. You know what I mean? So you have, I think her name is pronounced PC Royal Lady. She thinks it's a great idea. PC Royal Lady is I believe that's how that's pronounced. Yeah. So, and then of course Scrappy Dog says you're cheating. If we're going to teach the young and the youth how to take care of our community and county for the future. So shame on you. It's just another good idea that it's probably not going to get you elected, Matt. So.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you
and
thinking?
See, in that, in turn, to that point, and to what you were saying as well, it instills these qualities, values, sense of ownership, sense of belonging, sense of making a better community, being a better citizen in the community. And so it's I think something like that, it gives you something. We give these kids something to grow off of instead of throwing their trash out the window because they don't see and know what the hard work is behind it, you know. But heck, I mean, even right there, we were just now talking about that problematic area right there at Coulter's Bridge. Imagine if you were to do a little beautification project right there with that huge amount of dirt that they just pushed over there and let it sit for years that is causing the issue, and now it has kudzu and everything else growing out of it. Imagine if they did a little, you know, I mean, it's right there down the road. Hey, look at what Heritage Ag and Building Trades did, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, and there again, here's where my Appalachian Trail experience comes in. You had what was called privies along the trail that were at the lean-tos every 8, 10, 12, 16 miles. Well, because that's where you would camp at night. Well, you have these natural privies that have biodegradable material in them or biodiverse. Anyways, and so you know, there's that's where you use the restroom. Well, imagine if you were to put a nice rough cut wood privy right there. That way people's toilet paper is not just thrown on the walking trail down to the water, or condoms or everything else that goes on right there. It automatically breaks itself down. Nobody has to come in there and change it out and this and that. Gives privacy. And it's a completed project by the students of our high schools.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
You know, might be able to get donated rough cut wood for the project. 0 tax dollars.
James Richardson said skid steer training.
Absolutely. And I saw somewhere else about the OSHA training.
Yeah, OSHA training.
This would be introductory in this scenario. It absolutely would be introductory training to the students. Yep. But back to the conversation where I saw that at, as far as with the highway department, everybody hates the safety guy. I'm the safety guy. I hated the safety guy. Don't do what I do and you're going to make it out all right. But yes, I learned things about OSHA that is needed, but also, yes, absolutely, it's going to be pushed, but it's not going to be one of those. It would be pushed if elected. It's not going to be one of those whatever. But, you know, the demanding thumb on you type deal. But, yeah, a new level of OSHA training and appreciation. I'd bring it to appreciation level instead of disrespected. This is bullshit. Got to wear this. I got to wear that. Why do we have to do it this way? Because I promise you, I'm the type of guy, like I said, I hated the safety guy. I'm going to be the type of safety professional that goes, okay, hang on a second. Let me reference the letter of interpretations on this, because we're going to ride the line. We're going to make this job comfortable and fun and everything else, and we're going to go by regulation, but we're going to do what's going to help you all with being comfortable and productive and effective.
Okay. We've been on here for an hour and 47 minutes, man. So we did a candid conversation, then we deep dived into a little bit of the AI and all that good stuff again, and man, there's people in the chat that are talking. There's people in another chat that are talking that I can't even get involved in until we get done with the show. So
what's being said?
It's Alan and them want to be on the candid conversation again, and we're gonna do our best to get everybody back for sure. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, all right, Matt. I think we had a fantastic show. I think we talked a lot about all the things that you bring to the table when it comes to being in that position. Obviously, we believe that you're qualified. I guess time will tell about what they say, and but we need to make sure that we're promoting Matthew Snow, so that there is no confusion in the write-in, and it's a write-in candidacy. So when we're sharing, doing our memes or messaging and all that, hashtag it, however we got to do it, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hey, I want to stop you right there real quick. Right. People are talking about the yard signs. I know not everybody's privy on how to do the AI generated pictures and whatnot, but that is very effective and very cool. I've received quite a few private messages with them, text message. Keep it up, or your own create. It don't have to be any of the AI generated. I mean, just showing your involvement and support and whatnot. If you want to have your 4-year-old kid draw something and vote for Matthew Snow as a write-in and put it online, it's very effective guerrilla marketing, and it is exactly what is needed. So I've had a blast, you all, and I greatly appreciate you all bringing me on. And yeah,
I would say one step further. If you're out there driving around the community and you see something that the highway department should fix, take a picture, post it, and tag Resolute Exposure and Matt Snow.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Then we can show, hey, Matt, is this something that you could take care of if elected? Matt can comment on it, you know what I mean? And then maybe some of these you might see the highway department fixing some things here over the next couple months. Just trying to make the other guy look a little better during election time, right?
Never know.
Let's see what happens.
All right, Robert, you got anything to say before we kick Matt out of here? Because that's how we do all the candidates. We kick you off the show.
Hey, you're not going to take my cherry. I've been kicked out of a lot of stuff. Robert can tell you. Robert's known me since high school.
That is funny as hell there.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, brother. We'll see you in a little bit. I'll probably see you in about 10 seconds.
Right? Through the magic of television.
All right, man.
All right,
Later.
guys. Awesome. Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, thank y'all for the support, everybody. Have a great night.
Take care, Matt.
Well, what do you think, Robert?
All right, that was a good one, man. I like Matt. He brings a lot to the table.
He's a wealth of history. Well, we're not kidding about.
Something I didn't even get to mention and get him on neither was he was talking about his volunteering stuff. He's also done like bear migration studies where him and a team of people are freaking climbing through the mountains where nobody's ever been but bears, and tracking them and checking out their patterns and how many of them there are and stuff. Just it goes on and on. I can't even remember all the stuff he's done. But yeah, he's like that Dos Equis guy, the most interesting man in the world.
Uh,
That was awesome.
hang on. He's the Forrest Gump of Blount County, man. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but anyway, we're gonna have nicknames for all these guys when it's all said and done. Look, there he is. Look there. He can see what's going on. He can't hear a damn thing though, so you can say whatever you want about him, and we'll just keep it a secret.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, brother. I'll see you later, guys. I'll get reels of these made. I gotta get Jeff Coggins reels done. I'll get Matt's reels done. Hopefully, we'll work on it tomorrow. These take time. It takes a couple hours to go through the show to get 90-second, 3-minute reels to put out there. So just give me some time and have some patience, and I'll get them done. And then once we do that, share the shit out of it. You know what I mean? So, all right, Robert. Go ahead. Later, brother.
Yeah, later.
Boom. All right, man. Y'all have a good evening.